Hola guys and girls and welcome to GBA Week 3. We are up against the Miami Donphans, coached by none other than KyleAye. And of course this is the most important match we have so far, since this is our first divisional matchup. We and Kyle share a division together with MV and Leo. So every match versus one of those guys basically counts as 2 wins or 2 losses. So winning here is more important than any other. And of course, he is the second Donphan team in the league, and we can't have that. We have to decide right here who's going to be the one true Donphan team in the GBA. So we're going to use this match for that as well. But either way, I never battled Kai before, so that's the history before that. But of course I did watch a few of his matches even before he joined the GBA. He does very entertaining commentary and brings some wild sets to the draft format. Not always the most effective ones, but always some fun ones. So that's why I enjoyed always his side of matches. So that's why I should check him out, of course, as well. His links will be in the description, so you can not only see this side of the match, but his content in general. But yeah, that's why of course we have to go into this match expecting some wild stuff and not be caught off guard. But before we now go into the team preview thing and all this good stuff, of course, the shoutouts at the beginning of the match go this time to GoldoaDragon, who repeatedly keeps on recording these matches for me. So of course the shoutout goes to him. He will most likely record a few more games in the future. He is a coach as well in the GBA, so definitely check him out. He's doing pretty fine for himself as well. He is in the other conference, so I'm actually rooting for him, since every win he gets is good for us, especially if it's versus teams in our conference or division. But yeah, and the other shoutout goes to NeonXero. You already should know him. He gent a lot of times for me, and his link in the description as well. Definitely check him out. I keep repeating me, but there could always be new guys watching, so just check them out. That's all I'm asking. Go to their channel, go to their Twitter, see what they got. If you like them, you follow and subscribe, and so on. And if don't, you gave them a chance. That's all I'm asking. And yeah, that's basically all I can say. Because if you like this Draft League content from my side, they are the people enabling me to be in that through genning and recording. So if you like my content, I think you at least offer them that. But yeah, that's enough of that. Now, going into the actual team preview, of course I did upload a team builder yesterday, but for all which don't have the time for that, a very quick overview. We got Assault Vested Kyurem, we got Assault Vested Tangrowth, we got Assault Vested Conkeldurr, we got Sap Zipper Defensive Azumarill with Perish Trap, then Life Orb Stealth Rock Deerfog Landorus, and Life Orb for attacks, Deoxys Attack. Looking at the opponent's team, he brought the Excadrill, the Greninja, Protein, the Blaziken, Speed Boost, the Klefki, the Alolan Persian, and the Thundurus. So, first of all, no real surprises. Like I said, there could be some switch-ups. Like I would have been fine if Zygarde would have been there instead of Excadrill, or that mainly, Zygarde instead of Excadrill. I'm thankful that there's not Excadrill and Zygarde and Thundurus. I'm thankful that there's only 2 of those threats. Greninja was for sure coming, Blaziken was for sure coming, Klefki very likely as well. Persian makes sense. There's other mons which wouldn't make sense as well. I could have seen the Mega Blastoise or the Celebi there, but Persian is fine as well. And of course the Fun DT. That means for one he brought both his Z-move users, which are the Persian and the Thundurus. So scouting which one of the two it is going to be very important, because if it's the Fundy, that could be very problematic, especially in the late game if he's like agility variant. If it's the Persian, that could of course be annoying, because if he like somehow chip some of monsters down in the range we need it at, the Parting Shot, boom, it's at full health again. So yeah, that's something we have to worry about. But yeah, that's basically all for now. Looking at leads, I saw most likely his leads being either the Persian or the Thundurus, or potentially even the Greninja. Mainly Persian or Thundurus, just to lead with fast mon, especially if Thundurus is Choice Scarf, and then Volt Switch or U-turn out or something like that. U-turn same with Greninja. Since I didn't saw designated lead on his end there, so I thought let's lead with Kyurem. It can deal with both of them and just do a lot of damage to his team overall, because it's a Kyurem Black, and since it's Assault Vest, it takes basically every hit and can do a lot of damage in return. So I decided to lead with my Kyurem versus his team, and let's start the match and find out what he decides to lead with versus us, and take a sip of this. We got Mr. White Guy, white shirt, white hair, white skin, white pants as well. Wow, these are the whitest of whites I faced so far. That sounded maybe a bit weird, but now it's... Oh, even has a white backpack. God damn it. And white shoes. Okay, he's going for all out on that. But yeah, he needs an Excadrill. Of course, not a good matchup. We don't want to take an Iron Head from this thing. So we switch hard right out into our check to that, which is our Tangrowth, which, even though it's a Assault Vest, has a lot of Fizz Def investment to be able to take 2 X-Scissors from an Element Excadrill if needed. And like you see right here, he decides to go for the Iron Head from the start, which is of course fine with us. Does a good decent amount of damage, but from that damage you can already tell he's jolly, and of course not boosting items since we don't so anything. I just go straight for the Earthquake right here, because I don't want him, I want to punish him if he goes for Stealth. If he's a Scarf variant, I need the Earthquake damage so he's in range of extreme speed from my Deoxys. Either way, he switches out into his Persian, which takes us like a champ because of Fur Coat. I decided to just go for knockoff here because I didn't really predict him to stay in right here. I thought he would just right away U-turn out, because Persian usually can't do too much to a Tangrowth. He does knock off my Assault Vest, which is very annoying, and we knock off as well, which of course does nothing, and we find out that this is actually a Z, or no item, but most likely it's gonna be Z. And I just switch out right here back into Kyurem, because this time he's for sure gonna U-turn. He already knocked off my item, like now there's nothing he can do to my Tangrowth anymore. So I just switch out into Kyurem, and he decides to go for knockoff again, so goddammit, he already getting rid of all of our Assault Vests, but we of course have fine right here. I just decide to go for the Fusion Bolt right here. He goes for Parting Shot, because that of course due to Terror Volt ignores the Fur Coat of Persian and does a lot of damage. And if he decides to go into the Thunderous, that ignores Volt Absorb, can do a lot of damage as well. The only thing it doesn't hit is of course the extra damage. I didn't really expect to come in here, because the most likely play was an Ice Beam or an Earth Power from my side. Since his team is very weak to ground if you look at it in total. And yeah, he does switch to Excadrill. We of course are scared out again, going right back out into Spätzle, our Tangrowth, to chew any hit this thing will potentially throw at us, and it throws not a hit at us, it throws Stealth Rocks at us, which of course is annoying. We have some Stealth Rock Mons in our Kyurem mainly, so we need to get Landorus in at some point to defog those away. We don't have rocks ourselves so far. And this time I just decided to go straight for the Giga Drain, because if he goes to Persian again, that is like a 40% if he's max HP, or even more if he's not max HP. And he switches into his Klefki, which of course takes this Giga Drain like a champ. And yeah, we use this chance to switch out right here. I don't really want to... Oh, never mind. I go for knockoff. Because once again, Klefki can't read too much, just could go for screens, could go for spikes, all this stuff. But I would have get rid of Light Clay or a potential Berry, because he didn't saw leftovers. But yeah, on the knockoff, he switched back out into Persian. And yeah, we had this matchup already. We all know Persian can't do too much to us. I just go for Giga Drain this time, just get the maximum damage on this. Stop predicting, let's start hitting what's in front of us. He goes for Foul Play, which we chew like a champ. And this Giga Drain does a lot and basically brings us back to a lot of health, if not full health. And this time I actually predicted him to go for a Parting Shot, and I decided to go for the knockoff, because due to Parting Shot, nothing really does damage, and the utility of knockoff is just nice, getting rid of basically every item any Mon wants to have. We have a Z mover in, even if he would have stayed in. He can't do too much to us, we already saw that. And decides actually to go into Blaziken, most likely predicting a Giga Drain, and we can go for knockoff, which of course doesn't do damage, but we get rid of his item and can find out that this item is actually Wise Glasses. So this is a special Blaziken, which is very nice, because that means our Zoomer is even better checked to that, because that means he doesn't have Thunder Punch. He most likely will have Solar Beam with that, because that's like the only reason really you would run specials Blaziken versus us. We can't confirm that yet for sure, but I just switch into Zoomer. He switches into Klefki. I don't really already predict it, but he predicted something. But this is nice, because now we can start to Perish Trap this thing and get rid of Klefki, which otherwise would have been pretty annoying with Thunder Waves and screens and all this stuff. He decides to throw up some spikes, which will be annoying, because Perish Trap of course takes a few turns, and that means he will get all layers of spikes up due to that. First of course we have to start by trapping him with Whirlpool to get some damage on him, and to trap him, actually to go for the Perish Song next, and yeah, get rid of this Klefki with very little effort, since it seems it doesn't really have anything to really hit my Azumarill for good damage. Like I said, he just decides to go for spikes repeatedly, which will be very troublesome, because especially with Greninja and as his fast mod and the speed boost Blaziken, hazards are going to be a pain to deal with, and it could be open the door for a sweep from his side. So we definitely have to get rid of the hazards. And for that we have to get Lando in, so that's something we have to worry about in the near future. Here I can just go for Perish Song. Like I said, it just takes a few turns, this process. He decides to go for for spikes, I go for Perish Song. This time I decide to go for the Scald, actually, because I'm predicting to go for Spike, no need to go Protect here. So I decide to just go straight for the Scald, get some damage on this thing. And yeah, we don't get a burn, but do get some Whirlpool damage. And here actually I'm using this chance right here. His Perish Song is at 2, and we could just kill him basically right here, but just go for another Scald or something like that. But, like I mentioned, the hazards are a huge, huge problem. I don't want to stay them up, and I looked at his team, and there's not a lot of mons I can defog on. The main mon I could defog on would be the Persian, if we can bait that somehow in. But I thought, okay, the Klefki is at that low amount of health, it basically dies to everything. This Klefki could keep it for Death Fodder and practice shenanigans still, yes. But in the end I decide, okay, I actually don't, what about we actually don't trap this Klefki fully, and we just switch out Hearty into Landorus to defog right away and get these hazards up, because Klefki is one of the few mons we actually can do that. I particularly just go for Scream, because he already got all his spikes and shenanigans up, and then we can defog that right away as well, but actually goes for Sunny Day, so that confirms my suspicion this is indeed the Solar Beam Blaziken. That was probably his plan, go for Sunny Day with Klefki, get some boosted fire moves and Solar Beams on Blaziken. But yeah, his parry song is now at 1, so now he's to decide, okay, does he switch out or does he lose his Klefki? He decides to switch out into Drip, which is his Greninja, and now we get the freest defog of them all, and this defog feels so good. You get rid of not only rocks, you get rid of 3 layers of spikes as well. All of them gone, and I definitely take him still having like a 10% Klefki around for getting rid of all these hazards. But either way, we of course are scared out by the Ice Beam. I switch hard right out into my Conkeldurr right here, because even though Azumarill would be the best switch in, after that he can just go for Gang Shot and do a lot of damage to me, and I can't do anything back, so... And he actually decides to go for hard for the Gang Shot, so even better that he switched into Conkeldurr. He was Assault Distance as well, could take any hit, but from the damage we can see that this is at least invested in attack, mainly attacking, physically attacking Greninja, and that is going to be very troublesome overall for our team, because our best physical wall are of course the Azumarill and the Tangrowth, and both of them take a ton of damage from a Gang Shot. Either way, we are potentially, depends on how much invested he is. We already know from his Gang Shot he's not boosting Alpine. He might be Expert Bell, to be fair, since obviously it's not super effective versus Conkeldurr. But yeah, he might actually kill us from here. It might be a roll or not. He might not kill me, depending on how invested he is, either way. But the problem is as well, he's a poison type right now, so all our fighting moves are not very effective. So I actually decided here to go straight for the knockoffs in case he does stay in. We need to get him in range of, or I want to get in range of Extreme Speed for my Deoxys. Sadly, he does switch out and sacks his Klefki, so the Greninja is still staying healthy, which is annoying. Because obviously, if he's mainly physical, or if he's mixed, then he definitely has the Water Shuriken. Water Shuriken murders Deoxys bar, he gets only 2 hits. So I need to get rid of Extreme Speed. So here he switches into Zapdos, and I decide just go straight for a knockoff, since Ice Punch wouldn't actually OHKO him from this range, even together with Mark Punch not. So I decided rather go for a knockoff. I could take any hit there, since we already knew he wasn't Z. And he's to find out he's a Assault Vest. One reason I want to go for knockoff as well, since if this is a Choice Scarf Thundurus, I think that was more useful getting rid of the Choice Scarf for our Deoxys than the more damage I would do with Ice Punch. Ice Punch would have done like 90% max, like 85 to 90. But since we now know he's not Choice Scarf, since he was Assault Vest, we can just switch into our Deoxys and just go for Ice Punch and get us a guaranteed kill right here, since nothing takes the combination of an Ice Punch into Extreme Speed or Ice Punch into Superpower in case of the Persian. He decides to just sack the Thundurus with the Assault Vest. It was most likely there for the Manectric, and since that didn't come, it makes sense to sack that right here. And he decides to switch out into Ex-Girlfriend actually, which is excellent. I was definitely expecting the Greninja to come out right here, but this tells us this is either Choice Scarf or this is a sashed Excadrill. In both scenarios, we don't want to stay in, so we switch hard out into our Spätzle, which is our Tangrowth, because otherwise a Superpower would just murder the thing. He decided to go straight for the Iron Head, which we can chew very easily, of course, as well. This time I decided to just go straight for the Giga Drain. His only Giga Drain resist he has at this point is the Blaziken, and we already know that Azumarill is a dead stop to this thing. And yeah, we already knocked off close to all items, and I don't expect him to stay in right here. So we do go for Giga Drain. He does switch into Persian, basically to sack it, because Giga Drain does a lot of damage to this thing, because Persian is very weak on the special side. The only thing it makes bulky on the physical side is Fur Coat, and this obviously doesn't affect the special side. So now he switched back into Mega Blaziken. We get rid of that. Tangrowth taken a kill for himself, and yeah, we just switch out back into Azumarill, because this is our check to this thing. Don't have to worry about anything. Even if your hard predicts that it goes to the Solar Beam right here, since it's a 2-turn move and he didn't have Power Herb, we could just shoot it up due to our Zap Zap. He actually decided to go for Heat Wave right here. Very surprised with Heat Wave over Fire Blast or Flamethrower or something like that. But yeah, we can just fire off Scald right here, because he doesn't really have good Scald switch-ins. If he goes into Greninja, that chews that the best, but this gives already some chip damage on Greninja. Potentially Burn as well, which would bring it in range of E-Speed. Or he goes in Excadrill, which of course doesn't like Scalds at all. The sun is already gone, so Scald is at full power, and yeah, this Scald won't OHKO him since we are not that offensive, but it will do good of damage, has potential for burn, but it actually does a lot of damage, so that is a crit, and we do get the burn as well. The crit was not that important, I feel like, because Scald would shoot KO either way, but the burn obviously is big, because that means that his attacks won't do any damage to anything. So I think the burn was definitely the bigger hex right there. And we can just switch out hard into Tang. I could have stayed in here with Azumarill and just Scald it, but I want to keep Azumarill healthy just in case he still has Thunder Punch or something on his, on his Blaziken. And I want to keep Azumarill healthy, since that forces the Greninja to go for Gang Shot. And every time he goes for Gang Shot, he gets rid of a PP on that, since the Greninja is looking like the biggest threat right here, since I wasn't able to bring it in range of E-Speed yet. And if he's fully physical, he OHKOs Kyurem. He can do a lot of damage to Tangrowth, he can a lot of damage to Azumarill. So basically what I need right now, I need to take Tangrowth or Azumarill, or preferably both of them, at least healthy enough to take one Gang Shot to get some damage on them and then kill them with Deoxys. So that's why I'm going to switch out right here. Go into Kyurem, because Kyurem at this point, it's OHKO'd by Loki from Greninja. It dies to any fighting move from the Blaziken. So I just thought I can sack it right here, take the Gunk Shot, and then the low kick after, and then get a free switch back into Tangrowth, which is then at full health, go for Earthquake, either kill the Blaziken, or not kill the Blaziken, get a lot of damage on the Blaziken, or get the chip damage on this Greninja I need. But actually, after the first Gunk Shot, he decides to hard switch out, and this makes me suspicious. Okay, is this maybe a choice Greninja? Because otherwise it would have made no sense to stay in here. I just go for Earth Power, because like I said, I only need around 20 to 30% on the Greninja, and in case switch out Earth Power would do damage. Sadly, we miss out on the KO, and here I can just hard right back into Azumarill, since this is our check for this thing, and can keep the Kyurem as one death fodder versus the Greninja. Force him to go and get a free switch into Tangrowth, get more generator on Tangrowth, stuff like that. He goes for a second Heat Wave right here, which we of course chew like a champ, and yeah, we just fire off a second Scald right here to get some damage on this Blaziken, or get some damage on this Greninja. Tangrowth is already at full health in the back, so we don't need the Zoomer at full health to chew a Gunk Shot right here. In case he's not choiced, he actually gets crit over 8 right here, which does a lot of damage, but of course doesn't matter since we were in range of Gunk Shot from Greninja anyway, even without the crit right there. And yeah, we kill the Blaziken, and now it depends on, is this Greninja choiced or not? Because if it's choiced, Tangrowth needs to crit. Basically what we need is either miss or him not critting versus the Tangrowth. And if he's choiced, I don't think there's a move he can lock himself into to win the game. So it all depends on that. Does he have a shot at win, or does he not? He goes for Ice Beam, and that basically confirms for me that he is choiced, because otherwise there was no reason for him to go for Ice Beam here. Even if he freezes us, that's no problem. I was going for Scald here, so if he would freeze, we could just fall ourselves out. And yeah, we do get some damage. Now he's guaranteed in range of ESP from Deoxys, and we get the burn as well. So that is nice, and yeah, we can just keep Scalding right here. No need to go for Protect. Didn't want to draw this out game any longer, and if if the first Ice Beam was only a prediction for my Landorus, which of course would take the Gunk Shot the best, then I didn't want to risk it being a random sub-variant on my Protect or something like that. So I just go for second Scald right here. Do get enough damage since now he's oh no, he wasn't water type anymore either way. But yeah, with the burn we get a good amount of damage, and with the leftovers actually go to the Calc, and we can't be OHKO'd by Ice Beam, so I just go for next Scald. No need to go for Protect shenanigans. Since even with that, we live on a sliver of health, keep our differential at the same amount, and can Scald this Greninja in the face and win this match actually 5-0 versus the Miami Donphans. And yeah, that was a GG. Definitely a very nice game for us. A lot of things were going in our favor. Not only not really hex-wise, but game-wise. Like, the Greninja being choiced at the end definitely saved our butt a lot, because otherwise we were relying on Tangrowth to take the hit, which he could. Max attack Greninja, Gunk Shot without a boosting item, we could guarantee live. But of course there's a chance for crit or stuff like that. And if he would have critted us, then we would have to rely on him missing versus something. Which of course is annoying as well, because he was not mixed, everything was in range. Kyurem died to low kick, Tangrowth would have been died to the crit, Zuma would have died to Gunk Shot, Landorus would have died to Ice Beam, and the Deoxys would have died to Water Shuriken. So physical Greninja would have been a huge threat versus me. Thankfully it was choice, so that helped me a lot right there. But other than that, GG to Kyle, of course, definitely check him out. Like I already said, very entertaining commentary and team builder and battle in general, so I suggest check at least some matches from his side out. But yeah, that's basically all. We are going 3-0 out of week 3 in the GBA with a plus 12 differential. An insanely good start for us so far, and especially since we got our first win in the division. We already know that Envy and Leo battle, so one of them is going to lose, and that means we are going to take the... no, actually not. We are actually not guaranteed. Leo could still win high. So yeah, we are at least guaranteed a good spot for the playoff race, especially versus the guys in the other conference. But yeah, that's all from me. If you did enjoy the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe. You know the deal. Hit me on Twitter, Facebook, all the links in the description, and I will see you another time. Ciao.